Hey, what's going on, guys? It's the Crypto Siege with another day in the life and the crazy life that is the digital asset space. Good afternoon. I think it's Friday. Happy Friday to you. I lose track of the days anymore. Wow, guys, it's pretty cool to be in the digital asset space right now. Are you paying attention to what's going on? I've been wanting to get into this discussion a little bit about the IMF and Ripple and the central bank for a while now. And I came across, someone shared an interesting blog with me that I'm going to share with you guys because I think it's a very interesting read. It's one man's opinion, one person's opinion, I should say. But I thought it was interesting to share with the community, so I'm definitely going to share that with you guys. Some interesting stuff for sure. The market is what the market is. I don't know what's going on in the world. I haven't checked. I did finally got rid of the BTC. I took my little, $100, $150 gain and put it into digital assets and just moved on from there. Yeah, so Bitcoin's at 11.5, so that's down a bit. It was 11.6 earlier today. XRP is down to 29 cents. Okay, correction times going on. BCH is, goodness gracious, Bitcoin Cash is at $300, and that's down. BSV, again, still in the top 10. Litecoin, Cardano, and Binance, and Link is in the top 10, down to $9.68. Interesting. Okay. So, yeah, I think it's really an interesting time kind of to see with the top 20. I think I'm going to start paying attention to the top 20. So that would take us to Cosmos because I don't count Tether. So that would take us down to Cosmos. So let's kind of look at those and just kind of see if I want to play in the top 20. What is Leo? I have no idea what that is. So in any case, that's what the market is doing right now. What do we got going on here? What's going on, Alex G? How are you, brother? Is this working? Let's go back. What's going on here? I don't know why they're not showing. Hopefully this is working. How you doing, Alex? Good to see you. I don't know why that's not showing the thing the right way. Yeah, so are you on the road, brother? Are you traveling? So we're going to talk about that. I think it's a great read. I really, really do. There's something going on with the central banks. There's something going on with the IMF and Ripple. And we're going to go over, again, one person's opinion, see what you guys think. 9 people are watching, checking this out right now. And for some reason, the StreamYard is not showing everybody who is here. If you're here, say hello. I'm not sure why that is, but it is not showing. It's probably taking some time to catch up. I am not Jay Hotto. I got rid of my Tron a long time ago, brother. Good to see you. Keyston Sinclair is here. It's a good question. That's right. What are they doing with these 50, up to 50 central banks? So we're going to share again something on Medium. Rasheen Be Wealthy shared this with me. Shout out to Rasheen for sharing it. And it's a good, it's a good talking, it's a good conversation. It should lead to a good conversation, I think. I'd love to hear what you guys what do you guys think about it? Manuel Lopez. How are you, Manuel? Good to see you. Where are you checking in from, Manuel? Absolutely. So, yeah, it's a nice day out there too, out there in the world today. Why do you think the price is dropping a little? I just think it's normal retracement, just normal, healthy retracing. Oh, you're in Cali. Cool. Yeah, I just think it's normal, healthy retracement, man. Normal, healthy retracement is what I believe in the market. And so what's going on with Cali, man? Is Cali out? Are they into digital asset space out there, brother? Oh, man. So, we're going to talk about that a little bit. Twitter, of course, is kind of doing its thing. I don't know, but this new thing with TikTok and an executive order? An executive order essentially saying TikTok for the U.S. no longer. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Did you guys see that? Have you heard about that? Manuel Lopez, thank you so much for the super sticker, brother. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that big time. And it's good to see you here in the stream. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Right. And so, like, what's the deal with that? What is really going on between China and the U.S.? This current administration is certainly looking to make some moves. I don't know, DNI kind of sees it as the globalists and against the current administration, if you will, the elites. But interesting times, I can tell you that. Swap some of my Tron for VeChain. Feeling great about that. How about that, bro? How about that? Good for you. Yeah, I just kind of added to my positions on Elrond and Simple Token and gosh, I forget the things that I did. We gave China our tech, yeah. Bobby Extra, you like theta, huh? Let me see what I did here. I don't even know what I did. Don't even remember. Let's see what I did there. So added to Elrond, did not add to Anchor. Added to Simple Token. Oh, okay. So, and I got more. I got some NEM. I got some NEM. I'm going to run on a TA guys chart. And so I got some NEM, not that much, but got some. I got some. Yeah. So that's what I did with that BTC. Yeah. I've got some interesting news from the Celsius network. I was listening to an AMA this morning from with Alex and his business development team. And I could not get on the ambassador call on July 31st. So, yes, I watched the AMA and they're looking to really do some really great things with the ambassador thing. What's up, blockchain monkeys? Guys, blockchain monkeys in the building. I'm telling you, you better get that new track that he dropped. It is straight up fire. I mean, man, talk about something to get you going while you're in the gym, trying to get your workout on. That is it. Deep Mind's in the building. What's up, Deep Mind? Late to the stream, working, but lurking. Smash that like. Yeah, do me a favor, guys. Appreciate you being here, Deep Mind. And do me a favor and smash the likes if you haven't done so already. We always like to keep those likes right up there with the people in the stream. So if you haven't had a chance to do that yet, no worries. Just collapse the chat real quick. If you're enjoying the hangout, go smash the like and then come back and hang out. FYC Finest, what's going on with that? How are you, bro? Good to see you. Yeah. Oh, I can imagine. But it's more to it than just data. Data is going to be a hugely powerful thing. There's an interesting battle going on between the United States and China, and I do think it's about technology. Ultimately, certainly the dollar and the world reserve currency is in the mix. Certainly data is in the mix, but ultimately, if the USA does not win out, it really is about the philosophies of a nation, right? If China wins out, nations will, and in a way, embrace that kind of philosophy for running a country, right? And so, yeah, it's a big one. I have all the confidence that we will win, but blockchain monkeys, are you participating? That's right. I'm glad you like it. I got some dude on Twitter who thought that was corny. And that's something. Blockchain. Celsius has over 1 billion assets under management. Think about that, Bobby XRP Axelrod. That's massive. And I think they're coming up on 3 years. I mean, Coinbase is 7 billion. So just think about that, right? So Deep Mind, and I tend to agree with him. He said Celsius is a sleeping giant. And I agree with him wholeheartedly. I really, really do think it's a sleeping giant. And so, and boy, those chances to get some equity in there are you kidding me? get some equity into Celsius. Look, they closed it. They closed it down, so it's all done. They raised close to 10 million from platform holders, right? No VCs, and they got a big $10 million investment from Tether. First blockchain company Tether has invested in. They invested 10 million into Celsius. That's right. FYC fine. That's a great point right there, bro. We will win. That's correct. Great rewards don't come without its resistance. No question. Yeah, absolutely. Uniswap E for sale. Oh, so that's what you do. Okay. Yeah, man. I just sometimes, I don't know. I got to figure out how to get more comfortable Uniswap, because like I feel like I'm on Uniswap. I got the MetaMask, but I feel like I'm always having to go back to my phone. Like I'm just trying to figure out how to get the sell. I used to be able to just purchase it on the liquid exchange, but so blockchain monkeys, do you have some sell tokens, brother? That Uniswap thing just be killing me, man. I don't know. I'm not familiar with it. Oh, really? What? XRP employee? Are you saying Miguel Diaz is what Uphold? DeepMind? Are you saying Miguel Diaz is with Uphold now? That's some big news. Blockchain Monkey's been with Cell since day. Whoa, are you kidding me, bro? Blockchain Monkeys, you've been with Celsius since day one? Man, can I borrow some money, bro? Can I borrow some money, Blockchain Monkey? What? Can I borrow some money, Blockchain? Oh yeah, they never really leave. They're positioning in the same way that people came and positioned on their board. Bobby, you were right about that, bro. Man, good for you, Blockchain, man. I hope you get a chance to get some shares too, bro. I hope we all get a chance to get some of them shares. I hope you get a chance to get some of them shares. Yeah, that was a wait. They were overwhelmed with the platform holders trying to get some Celsius, some shares in Celsius. They were overwhelmed, man. They had to, they extended it 2 times, man. They had a cutoff date. They extended the cutoff date twice. It's just they couldn't get them all in, man. It's just the way it is. They couldn't get them all in, but they'll have another one. I'm sure they'll have another one. Yeah, exactly. Think about that. And you know what? Miguel Diaz is with Uphold. What? DeepMind dropping some serious. Oh man. So blockchains, I'm gonna just have to get comfortable with that Uniswap, man, because I don't have enough Cell tokens. Like I'm a freaking ambassador for the Celsius network, and I don't have enough tokens, man. It's like, what in the world? I don't have enough, man. And again, that's just about supporting a platform that's supporting me. That type of deal. But if you believe in this platform, getting it now for 39 cents is better getting it later for $3 or $5, right? Yeah, wow. Well, so guys, tell me, what do you think about that move? Okay, now XRP Thalzilla is saying something different. XRP Thalzilla is saying Miguel Diaz is the new COO of Link2. Yeah, he could be the COO of Link2 in his sleep. Okay, so he's the COO of Link2. Interesting. All right, so we have two different things there. What's going on with Miguel Villas? XRP Thousandzilla is saying he's the new COO of Link2. And Danny and Deep Mind is saying he is with Uphold. I know Uphold linked their platforms together. Oh, but working with integration and scaling for liquidity for Uphold. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, listen, Uphold is making some moves. Man. They are not playing. Like I said last night, they are not playing. Yeah, they're working together. Absolutely. Uphold didn't hesitate. They didn't blink an eye when the Sum app was, kind of going through that issue, and swapped the Sum app right up, integrated. So the people over at Uphold are definitely making great moves in this space. Jay Corn, you listened to an interview with Brad and who? Good to see you in the stream, bro. Brad Kimes and who, my friend? Who did he do it? Who did he interview, and where is that interview? Like, who did he interview, and where is that interview? Where is that, Jay Corn? All right, let me see here. Well, so let's go over this again. Why is Ripple working with the central bank, up to 50 central bank? And I'm going to share with you one person's, perspective, thoughts on kind of the whole. Aaron M. Oh, he interviewed Miguel Villas. Okay, gotcha. Oh, that interview, like kind of when Miguel Villas was with doing the thing for yeah, can you text me that, Deep Mind? Can you text me that? Because I can't snatch it up here from StreamYard. Can you text me that, Deep Mind? I would appreciate that, brother. Yeah, so I think that might be the interview where Miguel was like he was on the Link2 thing as well. Oh, no, a new interview, says Deep Mind. Okay. A new interview. Okay, yeah, can you share that with me, bro? Digital perspectives, yeah. So I must have missed it. I didn't tune into anything today on YouTube. I just checked the markets. The only thing I did was just get rid of that BTC and buy some better return on my money assets. Thank you, Deep Mind. I appreciate that, brother. Will XRP is in the building. How are you, friend? Oh, thank you, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Will. Had to hurry up and get to work so I wouldn't miss your live stream. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that big time. Yeah, so I guess I can just go to that channel. No, bro, this is a new interview. Nap Time's in the building. Okay, this is a new one. I'm going to check it out, see what's up. I will definitely check that out and see what is going on. Miguel is that's a stud right there, without question. So let's go over this article. It's a bit of a read, but I just want to kind of see what you think. Thank you, Deep Mind. I appreciate that. I did get it, bro. And I guess that's just yeah. Lately I've not been getting any notifications for when BK is doing something, when DAI is doing something. I'm not getting any notifications. Crypto Eddie also shouted, me out? What is that, Deep Mind? Have to hop off? All right, brother, be safe, man. Crypto Eddie also shouted you out in today's video. Oh, wow, cool. Crypto Eddie. I'm glad it's good, so good to see her smiling again and doing videos and just doing her, right? Just putting out valuable content. So I'm really happy for her. It's good to see her smiling again. Hello, Crypto Siege. Are my posts not appearing? Danny Loft, whatever do you mean, my brother? Let's see. Did I miss something? Can you? I can see your post. Yep. Why? What did you post, brother? Do tell, Danny. What does number 19 mean, bro? It's working? Yeah, brother, I can see you good. Did I miss something, man? Yeah, it's working. I can see your stuff. Hopefully I didn't ignore you and not say, what's up? Welcome you to the channel. Hopefully I didn't do that. I apologize if I did. Is that what you're talking about? It is good to see you, my friend. So let's go over this article. What's going on, Trey? 19. You're saying number 9 to like. Oh, yes. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate you being here. Right, guy. Number 19 and smashing the like button. Thank you, brother. Talk about a guy who knows how to make some cash. That would be Daniel Law in this market and a traditional space. That will be Danny. You might want to get to know that dude. All right, so let's share this. Okay, share this. Why is Ripple working with up to 50 central banks? One guy's or person, one lady or person. I don't need to share it. Yeah, I will. Has some thoughts on that. Let's check it out. Ripple's connection with the IMF and central banks. This article will discuss what I believe, again, this person here, I believe is going on between the IMF and central banks and Ripple. From analyzing different speeches and appearances by Christine Lagarde, the former head of the International Monetary Fund, and others, I have a strong suspicion that there are deep involvements between these three entities. I am of the belief that Christine Lagarde has revealed crucial information regarding how the IMF envisions what the new financial system will look like. I believe there will be some big changes coming. In short, the IMF envisions that they will hold a more central role in the future, as well as a more central role for the world's central banks. And again, why is Ripple working with central banks? Is it for cross-border payments? Like, why are they there? The first conference of discussion in this article was the Bretton Woods at 75. That celebrated the IMF and World Bank turning 75 years old. Here we gained some very interesting information in the panel discussion named Rethinking International Cooperation. Rethinking International Cooperation. It's our video here as well. You can watch the panel discussion here. As a whole, the focus was on how the United States dollar as the world reserve currency is something that is unwanted for the financial system at large. And we've talked about this on the channel for some bit. You know, Russia has explained this has expressed this very sentiment. China has expressed the very same sentiment, right? So we're talking major economies and major nations. So what is the answer going to be? What is the answer going to be? So the second message that was given throughout the discussion was that there is a need for a more equal power structure, equal level playing field between the major currencies of the USD, Euro, and Renminbi, which effectively would mean a reduction in the global role for the US dollar. A multipolar relationship between the major currencies was discussed as the preferred structure. So in other words, the US dollar has had his time. It's had its moment. We're looking to do something different, right? And if the USA is going to play along, it is going to have to absolutely be very, very equal. Because the current administration is not going to accept anything less than that. Fair, right? Level playing field. He talks about that in trade. He talks about that constantly. So going back to a gold standard, I believe it's not just something that the US of A is wanting. I believe there's a reason why all these central banks have been snatching up gold at the pace that they have been snatching it up. There's a reason for it. Where Ripple plays its role, I believe, is in the ledger, I believe. So the panel hosted representatives from the EU and China representing the euro and renminbi. The odd one out at the panel discussion was a lady who discussed the need for financial inclusion in Mexico. The peculiar coincidence is that the US to Mexico corridor was the first corridor that went live with on-demand liquidity. Yeah, that might be totally unrelated, but it was something that I noticed. What sparked my interest was that the Triffin plan and the Keynes plan were mentioned from the conference. This is a quote. We can imagine a new expanded role for the IMF by adapting and modernizing some old ideas of what's called the Keynes plan and the Triffin plan. Now, this section was easy to skip over, but if you look up the definition of the Keynes plan as well as the Triffin plan, you'll find something interesting. And the Keynes plan, an alternative set of proposals for international monetary institutions proposed by John Maynard Keynes at the Bretton Woods negotiations on post-war monetary arrangements in 1944. The Keynes plan would have involved the creation of an international monetary unit, the Bank Corps. We've all known about and talked about the Bank Corps, right? The plan was rejected and the International Monetary Fund was set up instead on lines proposed by the United States. That means that the Bank Corps was part of the Keynes plan. The following is the definition of the Bank Corps. The Bank Corps was a supranational currency. Supranational. Now, who else? What other digital asset has been called a supranational currency? That's right. That would be Ripple. That would be XRP, excuse me. Supranational currency that John Maynard Keynes and E.F. Shoemaker conceptualized in the years 1940 to 1942. And which the United Kingdom proposed to introduce after World War II. The name was inspired by the French bank of the Bank or Bank Gold. This newly created supranational currency would then be used in international trade as a unit of account with a multilateral clearing system. The International Clearing Union would also have to be founded. Okay. So a supranational currency was then part of the Keynes plan. Now here's something additional that also caught my attention. There you go. XRP was labeled a supranational currency and an official document discussing digital fiat currencies, DFC. This is displayed in the document on the second page where XRP is described as such. Yeah. So we all have seen this document and gone over the document where there it has in parentheses. First, it has supranational currency, and then it has, in parentheses, Ripple XRP. So it's digital fiat currency, and then there's a supranational currency. What is also displayed is Bitcoin is labeled as crypto in the document. Specific labels are important, especially in official documents. So what is then the Keynes Triffin plan? A radical solution is to create a new international organization and an international central bank to which would be handed over the foreign exchange reserves of all the countries. This is the Keynes Triffin plan on international liquidity. The major obstacle to its implementation would be the reluctance of countries to give up their sovereignty over reserves. But it can be considered as a proposal to set the ball rolling for future negotiations. So this would be a radical solution for the central banks to hand over their foreign reserves to the IMF. Now, it is not certain that the IMF would envision the arrangement to the full extent, but likely some version of it. From what was said later on in the conference, it is clear that the IMF envisions themselves as holding a lot more power in the future. We talked about the fact or the lack of the SDRs being used, and that's how the IMF wanted to step up in doing so. So as far as handling the payments between the world central banks from the conference, the following was stated. You could imagine the IMF could centralize reserve sharing agreements by administering a global reserve facility. They've been setting up these reserve facilities as of late, right? Because of the beer hole at the IMF, perhaps by building on the existing drawing rights. The IMF could also try to multilateralize the decentralized parts and largely discretionary network of bilateral swap lines, either by acting as a central counterparty clearinghouse for these bilateral swap lines and absorbing some of the counterparty risk, or by offering itself its own short-term swap facility. So I'm not going to read that. So here's a quote. The IMF could show up as an intermediary between the Federal Reserve, since we're talking about dollars, and other central banks. And why I say it's an intermediary is because many countries, for example, India or Brazil, would enjoy benefiting from the swap lines, but do not, because the Federal Reserve worries about sovereign risk. Well, the IMF could appear in the middle, take the sovereign risk back, because swap lines with its SDR, say with the dollar, and then give a swap line to the Indian rupee or the Brazilian real. Therefore, the IMF bearing the sovereign risk. There's a diagram here. And above picture taken from the panel discussion, you can observe how the IMF envisions the whole arrangement. Pay special attention to the IMF at the center section, and the visualization of the new reserve deposit facility. What does it look like? What I see is the IMF being at the center between the central banks. The reserve deposit would most likely be the SDR. The SDR would then play a central role in the new financial system. A lot of what DNI via Jim Rickards has been saying about this new SDR, and it would be like an ESDR. The issue with bilateral swap lines was then discussed. An interesting comment was made by Ricardo Reyes. An eye-opening response from Christine Lagarde followed. Here's what Ricardo said. A difficulty with the swap line as they are emerging is that they are bilateral and they are discretionary. Not only they exist as a spaghetti bowl, but also a spaghetti that could break easily, especially during a crisis. Christine Lagarde responded, "We will be the lasagna of the spaghetti bowl," right? A thicker, more stable, put together better than a bowl of spaghetti, if you understand what I'm saying, right? So the inefficient swap line relationship of today is displayed in the picture above. As a note, by utilizing XRP as a settlement tool between central banks, there would not be a need for these complex bilateral relationships with swap lines. Why is, you ever think, I'm gonna stop here for a second, just talk and see what you guys think. Why do you think that, like, what was the interest of Madame Lagarde and Ripple, where they're having them in, and she's walking them into these meetings with the central banks? What is that? What is that about? What was that all about? What's up, BC in the Matrix? Good to see you, brother. I brought Charlie Lee back. It's good to see you, bro. GDLT is in the building. How are you, my friend? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Absolutely. See a couple of 51% hacks going on there, ETC. That's definitely a challenge. So what is going on? Why? Again, Ripple has openly said we're working with 40 to 50 central banks. Openly, transparently, not hiding it back. Certainly not saying what they're talking about, but they say they're working with them. Work with them to do what? And then you got to ask yourself, why is Ripple being walked around constantly in these with the IMF and Madame Lagarde? What is that about? What are they talking about? What fascinates the IMF and Madame Lagarde at the time with Ripple? What is it? Is it cross-border payments? What is it? What do they see in that technology? It's something that they see. Uh-oh. Are you guys not hearing me? Let me know if the sound is not working. Bobby says something weird is going on with the audio. Can anyone confirm they can hear me or they cannot? Yeah, just let me know if you guys can hear me okay. All right, Trey says sound fine on my end. Jewelry bag is here. How are you, jewelry bag? All right. Okay. On my side, audio is perfect. Okay. All right. What's going on, Michael Angelos? So you got to ask yourself, what is that about? Like, I think we got so used to seeing Brad and the IMF and, you know, being walked into these meetings with central bankers that we just kind of, oh, okay. But what is that really ultimately about? And now that she's moved on, I don't see any pictures with Miss Georgieva, right? Kristalina. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that, brother. That's an interesting point, GDLT. The central banks are their country's regulators. Central banks connected to RippleNet will be able to convert anything of value. And this is where I'm thinking as well. That's the difference. Anything of value. Convert anything of value to their preferred CBDC. Anything of value, which would include gold. I think there's a very, very distinct possibility. Very, very distinct. You have gold, XRP can convert it to whatever it is that the other person on the other end wants. I believe that this technology is going to make gold more valuable. And what I mean by more valuable is because you're going to be able to use it more. And I think that's going to go hand in hand with precious metals. That's the genius behind the technology, is that it can move anything of value. It doesn't matter what you have. We can move it, and we could, on the other end, the recipient can get what they want. And again, my question to you is, why in the world over the last 3 or 4 years, these central banks have been snatching up so much gold? Did up Rao said that. I was just paraphrasing. Okay, nice. Very nice, GDLT. Thank you. It's got to be a reason for that, don't you think? I really, really do think there's a reason why Ripple is saying that they're working with these central banks. There's a bigger picture to it all. I believe that. And then, right, traceability and transparency is going to be huge. Again, current administration, the WEF, the IMF, the W3C, that particular entity that says Ripple and Ripple technology is going to be able to speak to all of its attributes. Not a single error in a transaction, not a one. Traceability, transparency, efficient, effective, cost, inexpensive. All of these different things. You don't think that one day they're going to be able to say, look, you can give us this, and on the other end, we can get whatever I want. I can hear that. The masses don't know about that yet. Just you and I. We know about that because we're in the space. I remember GTLT. That's exactly right. I remember when Greg Kidd did say that. I remember that. He said, here it is. Greg Kidd, former chief risk officer at Ripple, said central banks will become vaults in the future. By emerging with big tech, banks will be able to just be vaults in this internet of value. Danny Loft, that's a great point. And I know that's going to be happening. We're transitioning. We're transitioning to, in my opinion, from a debt-based economy to an asset-based economy. I believe that 100%. All banks are tightening credit and cutting credit limits right now. They see the collapse incoming. Absolutely, Danny Loft. Absolutely. So you're not going to want to be, right, having these loans and having to be in debt, right? You're going to want to hold assets. You're going to want to hold assets. And we're in the digital asset space. This new asset class is digital assets. Think about that. It really is. It really, really is. So yeah, so that's some great points there. That's exactly right, Jewelry Bag. That's a great point, my friend. XRP is working with regulators and banks, which makes it more politically feasible, whereas Bitcoin is not. Exactly. And Jewelry Bag, I say this on the channel all the time. It feels like to me there is a concerted effort, joint effort, to not have BTC lead, right, be the poster child for this new asset class. They want another asset to be the lead, if you will, the poster child, right, for this new asset class. And it's not going to be BTC. I'm not saying that BTC is going away or going to zero, but I don't believe that the powers that be are, how can they share to the masses and use BTC as the poster child when it has all its challenges with electricity and carbon emissions and being completely dominated by the miners in China? How is that going to work for the rest of the nations? How are they going to be able to spin that narrative and share that narrative and market that to the masses? They're not going to be able to. Not as the lead. I'm not saying it's going to go to zero, but not as the lead. Danny Law, I hear that, bro. Proud of you, man. Danny Law, strong suggest you get debt free as soon as you can. I am down to just my mortgage. I hear you, brother. Yeah, man, we did that too, man. Just got rid of all debt. It's funny too, because we're going to use our first cash out in XRP to do it, but we were blessed enough to be able to do it beforehand. So that's right. It's a great point, bro. Man, 40 minutes? Really, Michael? I swapped some Ethereum for another coin today. Took about 40 minutes. Wow. Yeah, I bought some I just sent some BTC over. And it took forever to get confirmations. Forever. Forever. Unbelievable. I had to wake up in the morning and make my purchases then. Lacobe? Yeah, listen, I believe you will have the last laugh, my friend. Greetings from Italy. Wow, man. Well, I appreciate you being here, my friend. All the way from Italy. It's good to see you in the channel, brother. Guys, do me a favor and smash the like. If you didn't get a chance to smash it on the way in, just collapse the chat and go smash the like if you're enjoying the hangout. And then come back and hang out some more. That's a good point too, Danny Loff. I heard about that. I didn't read the article fully, but I did hear about that. Danny Loff says, if the Three Gorge dams fails, Bitmain's main mining farm may find themselves under 30 feet of water. That won't be good for the BTC network. No, it will not. Lacobe, I appreciate you checking in all the way from Italy, my friend. Wow, that is awesome. Guys, welcome Lacobe to the channel. Do me a favor and welcome Lakovi to the channel, guys. Checking in from Iceland. Robert is checking in from Iceland. Wow, good to see you, Robert. All the way from Iceland. Good to see you. 81 people in the stream. Make sure you smash the like and subscribe. Yeah, Trey, I don't know if I would be too concerned about it because I think us is such a small number. I think us is such a small number that it's not going to matter to them. And even in the small number of XRP hodlers, how many of them have enough to create transformational or generational wealth? That's from Oklahoma, so I wonder who that was calling. How many, right? That's the other part of it as well. And so I think the us part of us is so small that it's not going to matter. Absolutely. All right, so let me go over this some more and share with you guys the rest of what this guy's thinking, guy or gal. Wait a minute, what happened there? Oh, there it is. All right, so the panel discussion left us, well, let me read it again. The efficient swap line relationship of today is displayed in the picture above. I showed you that. See how it's fragmented and sprayed out all over the place. As a note, by utilizing XRP as a settlement tool between central banks, there would not be a need for these complex bilateral relationship with swap lines. The panel discussion left us with a much clearer picture of how the IMF envisions themselves as playing a more expanded role. The IMF would be positioned in the middle, absorbing the sovereign risk of payments between central banks. I'll leave you with a final quote from this panel discussion by Christine Lagarde that should capture your attention. And this is a quote. So what are you telling me that we should go? So what you are telling me is that we should go back to the drawing board because we did actually explore for a period of time. Combination of liquidity line financial product that we could put together and that addresses the issues of the emerging market economies that are in a way left out of the game. And we will also, considering much to central banks' displeasure, put it that way, how we could do exactly that, which is to sort of act as the platform that would, in a way, take up all the portion of the sovereign risk, so to speak. And I think the most important part of that is we should go back to the drawing board and address some issues that we had previously discussed. Liquidity line of a financial product that we could put together and address the issues of the market, the emerging market economies. There's a reason that this level playing field is constantly being thrown around. So, and I end the quote. So this is this guy talking again. So Lagarde is discussing some liquidity product. What could it be? That also could help emerging economies. So what is this product that could also help emerging economies? It sounds like the type of technology Ripple offers. It may or may not be related. The next video discussion was the opening keynote at a FinTech festival in Singapore by Christine Lagarde. I would recommend you watch the whole video. I believe I did watch some of that. How money is changing with this new technology. Okay, that's interesting stuff here. So I'm going to go to some of the stuff where he talks more about Ripple. All right, so following the connection to the IMF, it is my belief that the IMF are the ones that have been organizing meetings between Ripple and the central banks. Remember, we kept asking on the channel, who keeps opening these doors for Ripple? How is Ripple getting to meet with the latest central bank in Brazil? Who keeps opening the door for Ripple? So following the connection to the IMF, it is my belief that the IMF are the ones that have been organizing meetings between Ripple and the central banks. I found it confounding that Ripple was able to organize a meeting in New York for a dozen central banks. I remember that meeting. How are they able to achieve this? Who do you call to gather a bunch of central banks when you are a private company, a private payments company like Ripple? I believe the IMF organized this meeting for Ripple with the intent of trying to push Ripple's technology to the central banks. And what do we find? The first presentation of the meeting was by the IMF. At the recent Swiss National Bank conference, some very high-level financial representatives gathered, many representatives from the central banks, as well as the head of the Bank for International Settlement, and of course, the IMF. Christine Lagarde was present with Brad Garlinghouse. And Brad Garlinghouse was the only representative from the private sector sitting at the front table. Brad gave a presentation, we all remember that, of Ripple's technology to the whole room. Once again, I would assume that the IMF invited Ripple to that meeting. Right? We all remember that meet where Brad was over there, right? On the right, there was like 4 people. Brad Garlinghouse was one of the people on the front table. At the Bangkok FinTech of 2018, the FinTech Fair of 2018, Sagar Sabha from Ripple stated, Ripple is working with 40 to 50 central banks. This was a very strong statement at the time, since only a handful of central banks were known to have been working with Ripple. Christine Lagarde has called Ripple a disruptor in the past as well. Why would she single out Ripple in this way? Now, what is ultimately going on between Ripple, the IMF, and all these central banks? It is my belief that the IMF has realized the potential for the technology that Ripple holds, and that they are actively trying to make central banks and other FIs adopt the technology. I also believe that the IMF realizes that the role they see for the IMF could become a reality by utilizing the technology that Ripple has to offer. And my friends, I think that is ultimately what this is all about. In order for the IMF to take on a bigger role, and this is something that they have been criticized for not being able to do, in order to take on a bigger role, not only during the bear code, but in the future, they need a technology that's going to give them the ability to move things of value, right? That is acceptable to central banks and other major economies. I truly believe that. And I believe that this relationship between Ripple and the IMF is it's a win-win for both. It's a win-win for both. And Ripple is in the business of doing that, establishing more win-win relationships. So this only makes sense for me in the case of them using XRP in some way. Why would the IMF otherwise follow Ripple everywhere? Ripple is simply a payments company. A main role for the IMF is to achieve stable exchange rates between currency, one of the main roles. They could tie the SDR to XRP for settlement. XRP might be the bank core. I also find it fitting that the IMF sees the central banks as more central in the future to the financial system. This is likely why Ripple keeps having all of these meetings with the central banks. In this global reset, in this global financial reset, the central bank is going to play a different role than it has customarily been playing. They are trying to create this relationship with the IMF in the center of all central banks, where payments are being routed through the central banks, likely for safety as well as tracking reasons. I believe a new financial system is being implemented where the IMF, central banks, and Ripple's technology with XRP is at the center of it all. XRP, the standard. To me, it makes sense. Whether it plays out or not, we shall soon see. But there's got to be a reason why Ripple is, again, able to get these. Who is doing that? Who is doing that? How is Ripple able to get these meets the way they are? Who is doing that? Who's opening the door for them? Who has been opening the door for them? I think that is hugely important to understand. Billy Ranchar, shout out from Northwest Houston suburbs. Oh, what's going on, Billy? Good to see you, bro. Good to see you in the stream. Without question, it's great to see you here. Hey, Jamarcus, what's going on, bro? Guys, do me a favor and smash the like button if you haven't, and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the hangout. And please make sure you ring that notification bell so you know when we do go live. Interesting stuff, I got to tell you. So again, this is one guy's opinion. You know, this is one guy or gal's opinion, but it's definitely some great food for thought. Danny Law says Kushner got Ripple in. GDLT says the DTCC got them in, right? Man, the advisory group for Ripple is more than very impressive. I mean, it is like what? GDLT says the advisory group of Ripple is very impressive. Major big players, former Federal Reserve people, HSBC, SWIFT, DTCC, Accenture, and the list goes on and on and on. Well, guys, so that is it there. That is kind of something that I wanted to go over with you guys. Just some food for thought. And I think it's important to note that as XRP hodlers, we do hold an asset that is invaluable. We just heard from Brad Garlinghouse. We played a video from him where he said XRP is the heartbeat of the Ripple company. It's the heartbeat. You know what I mean? It's the heartbeat. Thank you, GLT. I appreciate that. But Kobe says, look, Ripple will grow and it will be totally the center of the new financial system. People don't see that. Really, in Europe, they are looking more at other cryptos and they don't consider XRP. That is the deal, right? And so it's a sleeping giant, in my humble opinion. It's just, there's so much technology there that Ripple is putting together. So much technology there. Look, and it's going to be other winners, right? You listen to the TA guys, very smart TA guys. And look, the digital assets, it's going to be a bunch of digital assets that can earn you money. That can earn you money without question. Generational wealth is another thing unto itself. I believe, for me, in the crypto sieges home, the generational wealth comes from XRP. That's what I ultimately believe. I have zero challenge of believing a 3-digit or 4-digit XRP. Zero. I have zero problems believing that. Love the content and the perspective, Siege. Thank you, GDLT. I appreciate that, brother. And that's just my opinion, right? I'm just a guy here on YouTube, right, who's involved in the digital asset space. And I do have a portfolio now that I've hit my milestone in XRP holdings. So I do have a portfolio of other assets. But ultimately, for me, yes, David F., I have checked out Unstoppable Domains. I actually do have an Unstoppable Domains site. It's thecryptosiege.crypto, I believe is what it's called. Thecryptosiege.crypto, right? Yeah, I like Unstoppable Domains. Absolutely. So there it is, guys. Listen, thank you so much for hanging out today. It's been a really great hang. I hope that was some great food for thought. Why is Ripple working with so many central banks? And what is going on with the IMF? Right? What is going on there, right? So interesting stuff. Absolutely interesting stuff. Thank you so much, guys, for hanging out. I am going to end this stream. GDLT, I appreciate you guys being here, brother. Guys, make sure you check out GDLT's channel on YouTube. And if you haven't subscribed, go give him a sub and check him out. He provides some great content for the XRP community. Here is 10 p.m. and my little daughter, 4 months old, is listening and agreeing with you. Aw. Well, tell her I said hello, brother. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's 10 p.m. at night and my little daughter, 4 months old, is listening and agreeing with you, mate. I have a girl. I have a daughter, so I get it, bro. I get it. The girls, they steal your hearts, brother. Good for you. All right, guys, listen, I am going to wrap up the stream like I do all of my streams and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather us remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play in, where we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating, or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know, that the battle for you has already been fought, and the victory is yours. Go get it. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya. Bye.